We can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So I was saying that would like everyone as much as possible to share your thoughts and participate in the conversation today. As many people as possible are able to let us know what you'd like to see, what you'd like, how do you also personally would like to also contribute more to ICSAN's continued impact in Nigeria in the next 60 years. I know we're all at different places. Someone like me might not be here in the next 60 years, but as many as possible, what else would you like to see? As you're putting those comments in, I'd like to read the profile of our wonderful speakers today. I'm very happy to share that one of the people joining us today is one of our past presidents, Mr. Hakeem Oguniro, FCIS. He is the founder and chief executive of Exima Realty Co. and Co. Limited, the Home for Me Nigeria Limited, Mercury Nominees Investment, and Maestro Property Consults Limited. He's also the non-executive chair of the board. He's also the non-executive chair of the board of directors of Lagos Building Investment Co. and a non-executive director for the UK and a few other companies. He's a leading thought leader on Africa real estate structuring, funding, and delivery, and has been described as having a unique understanding of the connection between financial models, capital markets, brick and mortar, all within the context of African complex and challenging operating environments. Our next speaker is Mr. Sheson Shobowale. He's the head of legal services and general counsel at Union Bank of Nigeria. He's a solicitor and advocate of the Supreme Court of Nigeria with over 30 years of hands-on commercial legal corporate relations and senior business leadership experience spanning commercial legal practice, telecommunications, FMCG, banking, and financial services. He was at various times the company secretary, legal advisor, and corporate relations director of Guinness Nigeria PLC. Aside his qualification in law, taxation, and governance, he holds an advanced degree in BizAdmin. He's a past chair of the Association of Law, Taxation, and Governance. He holds an advanced degree in BizAdmin. He's a past chair of the Association of Banks, Legal Advisors, and Company Secretaries, and a member of the Chartered Institute of Directors, Nigeria. Our last but definitely not least speaker is Ms. Tinu Ade Awe. But just before I read her profile, I skipped the introduction of the president. I wanted her to do her address after I've read the short profile so that she launches us straight into the conversation. But I will pause now to have our dear president address us before we start. Mrs. Uto Upana, FCIS, always looking wonderful. Over to you, ma.
Thank you very much, Adeola, and well done on getting us started. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our very, very eminent governance professionals that have joined. We want to make a starting on time part of the ICSAN DNA. So thank you to all those who joined before 11 a.m. I'm happy to see that we're all very excited about this. And I also join Deola to ask that everyone put in the chat your expectations for ICSAN over the next 60 years. So I'll read my speech. Once again, I welcome everyone to the conversation, the first for 2026. So permit me to acknowledge the Vice President of the Institute, Mr. Francis Olawale FCIS, Distinguished Honorary Treasurer, Mr. Onyekachi Uko FCIS, immediate past president, and of course, president of the Corporate Secretaries International Association, CSIA, our global body, Mrs. Fumi Ekundayo, FCIS, past presidents of ICSAN, including one of our eminent speakers, Mr. Kim Oguniron, FCIS, members of the Governing Council of ICSAN, who will all be introduced at the appropriate time and acknowledged, the chairman of ICSAN's Publicity and Advocacy Committee, Mrs. Abiola Lasinde, FCIS. She's the host of this event, along with members of her committee. Our guest speakers, I've mentioned our past president, Mr. Kim Oguniron, FCIS, also another eminent fellow of the Institute and a past council member, Mr. Sheson Shobowale, FCIS, and of course, dearest and very versatile and eminent governance professional, Ms. Tinuade, ACIS, members of our National Secretariat team, distinguished fellows, associates, and all members of the Institute, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege to warmly welcome you all to this first edition in 2026 of The Conversation, which has become an advocacy platform of ICSAN. This program has over the years evolved into a respected forum where ideas are not merely exchanged, but refined, where perspectives are not only shared, but sharpened, where governance is examined not just as an abstract ideal, but also as a living instrument for national transformation. At ICSAN, we have remained consistent in our commitment to shaping governance discourse in Nigeria by convening thought leaders, professionals, and policymakers, as we're doing today, to interrogate contemporary issues of national importance. So the conversation represents ICSAN's deliberate effort to bridge the gap between policy and practice, between theory and implementation, and ultimately between aspiration and impact. The conversation has thus become another tool in our ever-expanding toolbox, a veritable mechanism for empowering governance professionals to contribute their share to national growth and development. Because we don't just want people to read the theory, we want them to be able to translate it into practice and day-to-day actions. So before proceeding further, permit me, for the benefit of those members of the public who we know are joining this event and who may not be too familiar with our institute, to have a brief comment about ICSAN. ICSAN is a statutorily established professional body dedicated to advancing the study and practice of corporate governance and public administration in Nigeria. As the foremost institute responsible for certifying chartered secretaries and governance professionals, we continue to play a pivotal role in strengthening institutional frameworks, enhancing corporate accountability, and promoting ethical leadership across sectors. This year's theme, Legacy of Excellence, a conversation for ICSAN's role in reshaping governance for economic resilience and sustainable digital transformation, also fits into the general narrative for ICSAN's 60th anniversary celebration, with the theme, 6 Decades of Excellence, Shaping Governance, Empowering Futures. It invites us to reflect on where we are coming from, interrogate where we stand today, and more importantly, define the trajectory we must follow as governance professionals in an increasingly complex and digital world. Again, for those who are just joining, please share in your chat your aspirations for ICSAN in the next 60 years. So first, the notion of legacy within the context of governance speaks to continuity, values, and institution building. Also, it connotes that excellence is not an accident. It is a product of deliberate systems, disciplined leadership, and sustained culture of accountability. As an institute celebrating 6 decades of excellence and contribution to national development, ICSAN must continuously ask itself, what enduring structures are we building today for tomorrow? And some say the answer lies in strengthening governance frameworks that are resilient, transparent, and are adaptive. Secondly, economic resilience in today's environment requires more than macroeconomic policies. It demands robust governance systems that can withstand shocks, mitigate risk, and inspire investor confidence. I believe the last 1 month is a great illustration of this, about how global economics and the impacts around the world, how global friendships are also shifting. In a rapidly evolving global economy, institutions must be governed to ensure stability, predictability, and long-term creation, even in the midst of uncertainty and disruption. Governance professionals therefore stand at the intersection of policy, compliance, and strategy, serving as custodians of sustainability and growth. Also, digital transformation presents both unprecedented opportunities and complex challenges. Technology has disrupted traditional business models, redefined operational processes, and introduced new dimensions of risk, including things like cybersecurity, data privacy, ethical use of artificial intelligence, amongst others. And so when you think about this, governance must evolve to keep pace with innovation, ensuring that digital advancement is guided by strong ethical frameworks and sound regulatory oversight. Sustained digital transformation requires intentional alignment between technological adoption and governance structures. It is therefore not enough to only digitize processes. Institutions must factor in governance principles into their digital operations. Of course, this, as governance professionals, includes clear accountability mechanisms, transparent data governance policies, and inclusive systems that ensures that no stakeholder is left behind in the face of digital transition. Even more important is the role of ICSAN as a thought leader in this evolving landscape, as we reposition ourselves through initiatives such as the proposed Chartered Governance Institute of Nigeria, CGIN bill. We're expanding the frontiers of our relevance. This evolution is critical if we are to remain impactful in a dynamic ecosystem. And finally, the future we seek to build demands collaboration. No single institution can drive governance reform in isolation. It requires